Speaking of Guinness World Records, you have a Guinness World Record, correct?
I don't, but I am in the Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Oh, okay. Was it that? Okay.
That's the day I found out that I was a weirdo.
We're having so many conversations out there. I'm like, hey, Rob, chill. I'm like, save it for the podcast, man.
Oh, yeah.
You're a very interesting person, obviously. Barber, artist, badass human being, great father as seen online, and husband, correct?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, amazing. Yeah, there we go. She confirmed it. But as seen on social media, we oftentimes see so much success and we see the highs of life, but we don't really see the backstory of what it took to get there. I'm curious on your backstory, how you grew up. Mexicano también, ¿no?
Mexicano, sí.
Oh, okay, ¿de qué parte de la familia?
Mi mamá de Guadalajara, mi papá de Durango.
Oh, let's go. Yeah. Let's go, Durango, bro. But what was that like growing up for you, coming from Hispanic parents?
Man, well, I was born here in LA. When I was born, I was the fifth child already. So there was a big family already.
How many siblings? You said it out there.
De mi mamá, 8, y mi papá tiene una hija aparte también. So I would say 9. Nine altogether, yeah.
Hey, that's like the OG Latino family right there. My dad's got like 5 sisters, 5 brothers. My mom too. I'm like, damn.
My mom was 12 of them. My mom and her siblings.
12?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro. That's a baby like every year for like 10 plus years, man.
It's crazy. I don't know how they did it, man. And it is, if you think about it, it was hard to pay attention to each one of your kids because they're just all growing up with each other. But in reality, it's more like when you talk to them as a group.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of times, and back in the day, it was harder to give, individual attention.
Sure. For yourself growing up, did you feel like you got that attention? Or like, how do you feel? Like I told you earlier, for me, it was the skate park and Dragon Ball Z. Like those two were, obviously I had my parents and they were amazing. Dad was always at work. Mother was always, looking out for me, but I was a travieso. I was raised by the skate park and Dragon Ball Z. I tell everybody that. But for you, like, what would you say was a major influence in your upbringing, especially as like a teenager?
I would say kind of similar to you as well. My dad was always working, and my mom was always, taking care of the younger siblings.
Sure.
And I would say like me just going out, being out with my friends. We were always out. And
were you a travieso, bro?
I was a travieso.
Yeah. Okay.
Bad.
Yeah.
But it was fun. You know what I mean? Like, sure, I grew up in neighborhoods, so there was a lot of kids out playing as well. And when we got a little older, obviously we started getting into trouble and doing things that we weren't supposed to be doing. My parents never knew what I was doing. We were out in the streets and kind of like just de vagos, you know what I mean? But I feel like it built character to, the person that I am now. But absolutely. I did get lucky. Like you said, there's angels watching us or something, because I could have been dead a lot of the times or got in a different direction. And for some reason,
absolutely.
I'm here, bro. And it's crazy, but
it's because, we have a purpose here, and you're serving a major purpose, and you're inspiring so many people around the world. You said something earlier. You were like, I lived in Tijuana, right?
Yeah.
And you were going to school in San Diego when you were, I think, in elementary school, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So
how was that?
It was, man, it was a trip.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we moved a lot growing up. My mom, my dad, they always kept, fighting, breaking up, getting back together. So we would
Latino
always
parents,
end up,
man.
I know.
Mine are still doing it.
Yeah, we would end up in a garage, or we would end up in a shithole. My dad would feel bad, take my mom back, and back and forth. We ended up moving to TJ when I was, in 2nd grade. So that was a culture shock right there.
TJ in 2nd grade?
In 2nd grade, yeah. From LA, we went to Tijuana. So it was like a big difference,
absolutely,
from like
completely
in schools we here in the US, we could sit on the carpet, on rugs, whatever, all the kids, have school supplies that they, that the school provides, lunch, things like that. And TJ was like a whole nother ballgame. They had us cleaning the classroom. They had us call it aseo. So all the Mexican, little kids, they had like a assigned date to clean the classroom. Yeah.
¿Y les pagaban? Did they pay you guys?
No. It was just part of discipline. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. They paid you guys with discipline, sure, knowledge and experience.
But it was really cool though because we were able to use our creativity a lot, and we would like basically they'll have us collect like bottle tops and bring them to school, and we would build something out of it, like make something sweet, artistic.
Though. Yeah.
The clothes hangers, the wood ones, the wooden clothes hangers, the old ones.
Yeah.
We would bring those into, and we would make like stuff, arts and crafts out of it.
The pincitas.
Oh,
like
the pincitas. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
There you go.
Wait, so is that where your hunger and like thirst for creating art came from when you were really young? Like, where did this inspiration come from? I mean, your work is incredible. It's undeniably like some of the greatest work of all time. But where did that come from? Like, where did that spark come from? Was it from your childhood?
I think it's from my childhood. Yeah,
okay,
definitely. I feel like, growing up, since I was growing up in a big family, we didn't have, like allowance or nothing like that. Like we didn't know what that was. But what was cool is that we got to like improvise with whatever we had. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, going to school in Mexico, we would improvise basically with, with things and build creative stuff.
Sure.
When I was living in LA, I was still too young, and I feel like I was drawing a lot. So I've been drawing since I can remember.
Wow.
But yeah, in Tijuana definitely helped a lot with the creativity and stuff. So
I was gonna say, because I man, at my school it was like I don't even remember, kids were like picking their boogers and like you know what I mean. But you guys are over here creating some cool stuff, man, together. That's badass,
yeah, man. And going back to what you were asking about, what was it like, crossing the border and stuff like that? Yeah, whenever we had moved back to the States, and I lived in the Bay Area for a couple of years, and then we came back to the South and moved to Tijuana again. And my dad used to work as a truck driver, and he would cross the border every day to go work in the U.S. in San Diego. And we would ride with him in the morning, like at 4 or 5 in the morning, cross the border. He would drop us off at a park there in San Isidro, and we would wait till the sun come up, so that way we can walk to school and have breakfast there in school.
No way.
Yeah. So sometimes it would be freezing cold in the mornings, man. We would have those little gloves.
No way.
Be like holding
our
ears and stuff. Yeah. Me and my older brothers, Raimundo and Manuel. Yeah. Yeah. It was cool though, man. Like, cause we would do something good out of it. I would say we would always find the fun out of it. You know.
Of course. Well, that's the key, right? Finding the joy in the work, and when you find that, everything sort of takes care of itself. And I do want to say, I feel like you're a very hard worker. You're very you're a very smart entrepreneur, I'd like to say. And would you say that sort of came from our parents, like your parents? Because I feel for myself, like I used to see how hard my dad would work. He'd wake up 4 a.m. He had a fumigation company. He was climbing roofs. He had the sandbags on his back. He did all that. Eventually, he had his own business. I like to say I got that from him. Would you say the same for your parents? Like, your father especially?
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like probably owning my own business I got from my mom's side, because most of her siblings, they all own their own business. So they're all entrepreneurs. My dad was more of a hard worker,
Okay.
And he was what we call in Spanish, a mil usos. So somebody that does everything, that knows how to do.
Oh yeah,
yeah. If he didn't know how to do it, he would learn it and do it. So
that's a skill in itself.
Yeah, it really was, man. Yeah. But he was a hard worker for sure. Get up at 4 in the morning, siempre con su café and ready to go. He's a truck driver.
Okay.
My mom was also a hustler. She wasn't an entrepreneur, but she was a hustler, and we got to sell like elotes and street corn.
Yeah.
We sold empanadas. She would bake cookies.
Yeah.
She would make tamales and sell that as well.
Sure.
She did try having her own business in Tijuana when we first moved there. Almost like a 99-cent store type thing. And she would buy things in the U.S. and take them out there, but it didn't last long. I feel like since my dad was always working and my mom, like, she's a hard worker, but I feel like como que nunca se le dio to manage a business. You know what I mean?
Sure, man. Yeah, I tell, I want to correct myself. I always say that my dad was like the muscle and my mom was the brains. My mom was like, she always told my dad exactly what to do, how, you know what I mean?
Right.
And my dad would do the work, but I want to give credit to my mom, because she was, the brains. And if you're watching this, Mom, I love you. But yeah, man. So you create some fascinating art with just about anything. Hair, saw, I think even pancake batter I've seen.
Yeah, I did the pancake batter. It's been a while since I've done one, but I've done it before that.
So what would you say is the strangest and wildest art piece you created with something that like you never thought you would create art with?
Probably, I would probably say the broken glass. That one was pretty strange.
That was pretty recent, no?
Yeah, maybe a couple of years ago. Yeah, a couple of years ago. But yeah, what do you think?
No te cortaste la mano, bro?
No. But one thing I did notice was obviously I was wearing a mask, but even then I was still breathing like little tiny pieces of glass, and I would feel like my chest hurting and stuff.
No.
Yeah. So and that was
you take care of yourself. The particles, it's like the little dust in the air.
Yeah, the little broken glass. Yeah, because I would go in the garage and do the work there. But I think when I was using the power tools like the grinder, it was turning into dust. And the glass. Shoot, so that's when I was starting.
Did you see a doctor and all that?
I did not.
No, you're like, nah, I don't need no doctor.
I did not, but it was like very mild that I was using the power tool, but I was like, I need to stop using this tool because I'm feeling it. Something's not right here.
Yeah, no, for sure, bro. I was looking at one of your posts recently, dude. You also do like, some of the most beautiful art on horses, right? And I was like, bro, because what's the saying? You're never supposed to stand behind a horse or something because you'll get kicked. Right. I was like, bro, if I ever tried that, my ass I'd go flying back, bro.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a comment that I often get on my post. Like, hey, did you ever get kicked by a horse?
Yeah, have you ever been kicked by a horse?
I have once. Yeah.
What happened, bro?
So I was working in a tight space, and there was a lot of show horses. These horses that I work with are show horses. So they're trained already, you can pet them, cut hair on, do whatever. And they're pretty chill. They're not, wild horses. But in this case, we were in a tight little area. And when I was working on one horse, there was another horse that his back was facing me. And I guess the horse was stretching. So he stretched his leg back. And when he stretched it out, it hit the side of the back of my knee, but the side of my leg. So it kind of slipped. But if it would have hit it directly,
you would have gotten a broken leg.
Yeah, I probably would have gotten a broken leg because I just felt like something hit me like really, really hard, almost like almost like if a vehicle just backed up on me like that bad. I was like, what
man, dude!
I had a huge bruise, but yeah, man, I got lucky. I didn't get. Oh
my gosh, bro! Yeah, I saw your post and I was like, dude, knowing me, I would forget, stand right behind and get knocked my teeth out,
Yeah, it is a little scary at first, but I feel like I've gotten used to working with animals and they're pretty chill, for the most part.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you worked with the Aguilar's family and their horses, right? That's where we met at one of the concerts.
Yes, that's how we met.
What year was that in?
Yeah, man. So I was, I'm a content creator, so I'm always trying to create new art mediums that's kind of what helped me in my career, being diverse with art, and not just sticking. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So I was doing like different art mediums, and one day, I thought about doing the art on a horse. I seen a barber named Kenny Duncan, and he had tried doing a design. Well, he didn't try. He did do a design on a horse, and that inspired me to do my art, but on a horse as well. So that's where the idea came from. And shortly after that, Pepe Aguilar saw that he saw a video, and he reached out and he said, "Hey man, I would like you to come out to my rancho and let's do a design on a horse and let's see. I would like to work with you." So I did. We flew in, right? Remember that we went to Tayawa, which is the rancho where his parents are also movie stars and singers.
That's right. Yeah.
And it was pretty cool.
It was really cool. We got to see cool experience. A bar. Remember the bar? And it was like tapered or tapped with old pictures of them, or movie posters of them.
Like all the family history, all that stuff.
Yeah, they filmed a lot of movies there and music videos in the rancho. And it was
entire family.
We even got to meet Pepe Aguilar's one, Flor Silvestre, which was super neat. I saw videos, and it was on Mother's Day. It was a Mother's Day, 10 de Mayo.
Yeah.
And I have a video. He's singing to her. They're holding hands and everything. It's beautiful. It was a very beautiful experience.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Shortly after that, she passed, and it's crazy because she was like such a big, part of our culture and like Mexican culture. My mom's a huge fan of Flor Silvestre. When she was a kid, she grew up.
And she complimented Rob. She's like, I've never seen anything like this in my whole life. Like, this is so beautiful.
Kidding.
Yeah.
The hair art on the horses. Yeah.
Dude, that's a compliment right there.
Yeah.
That's wow. That's incredible, man. How old was I when I met you? I must have been 20, 21, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
21, because that was before, I like to say, that was in BC times. I met you in 2019 BC, before COVID.
There you go.
Before the world ended, man. Shoot, bro. Now we're in AC times after COVID. Yeah, that was, that was a strange time, that pandemic stuff. For you, how did that take a toll on your work? Maybe your mental health? Like, how did that affect you? Or did it affect you? Or were you still like,
I think that for us, I had just signed a deal with the brand that I was working with. So financially, I was good. You know what I mean? Sure. And I wasn't the 2019, I traveled probably the most I ever have in my life.
Yeah.
And it was crazy, man, how much I traveled. I think I must have been in at least over 100 flights. Damn. For sure that year.
Damn, bro.
So I was traveling a lot. So being at home did make me feel really good, especially because shortly right before that, we had just found out we were going to have our daughter, Selena.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
We got pregnant in like
January.
Yeah, January. And then we went in March, he had a show in New York. So we fly to New York and everything. We're there. And then they end up saying, hey, the show's canceled. Everybody has to go back and it's like shutting down. And so we're like pregnant, I'm like a couple months pregnant. And for us, I feel like it was really nice. We got to be together the whole pregnancy. Really he would cook for me. He started making cooking videos on TikTok. Nice. Yeah. Like, so he would only really, he always kept flying though to visit his kids in San Antonio.
Okay.
So other than that, we were together. We would go to the pool. He would do like, we had honestly, it was awesome. Because I think, man, if that wouldn't have happened, he would have been traveling the whole time I was pregnant.
He wouldn't have had that time to really be there, bond together during the pregnancy.
And we found out we actually really like each other.
Hey, a lot of couples were either made or broken during the pandemic. Isn't that a trip? Yes. So many couples were broken. They either broke up, got together, or even had babies, I met my girl during the pandemic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Went to a party in Big Bear. World was ending, so I was like, fuck it, let's throw a party. and I went to a party and met her there, and we've been together for quite some time.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Congrats, man. Congrats, it's beautiful. Yeah, us, like, we loved it because, like she said, I was making content cooking for her because, we had to eat and we weren't really eating out. We would get tired of eating out.
Yeah.
So we were just like, I would see stuff on YouTube and be like, man, I want to cook that. And I would go to the store and buy everything.
Are you a good chef? Are you a good cook?
Yeah.
Let's go, bro. You do it all, man. Yeah.
He would call his mom, hey, mom, how do I do the nopalitos with this? And for that, for when I was pregnant and stuff. I mean, he still cooks. He still likes that.
I can't cook for
No?
No, not in my life depending on it.
I mean, I can cooking, man.
Burn some chicken, make some eggs, but I can't cook though, man.
I like it. I think like pretty much I've done like from sushi to Mexican
tamales. He'll be like, what do you want for like Christmas? You want me to make you some tamales?
Oh,
like,
let's go.
Yeah.
Bro, that's
pozole, like anything.
Oh, shoot, man.
Yeah.
See, my girl, she's the chef in the family. I'm like, baby, I trust you in the kitchen. You're very talented at that. Like
I beat her up, but she can keep it up.
Yeah, I know. But, I stopped eating out too. I'm like, man, I feel like there's so much unhealthy shit out there for us.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so much poison being put into our bodies that like we're not even aware of. But yeah, man, health is that should be our first priority in life. Everything else comes secondary. If you don't have health, nothing is nada, bro.
Yeah, no, I think that at my age now, I'm 38, soon to be 39.
Nice.
I definitely are I am more concerned about what I eat now.
Oh, okay.
I still don't eat the best, especially because I'm weak for like sweets and stuff.
Dude, me too. Wait, sweets. Hold on. What is your go-to, bro? Because I got a sweet tooth, man.
Oh, me too, man.
It's bad. It's really bad.
I mean, I like donuts and cupcakes.
And then he'll be like, with some cold milk.
Yeah, me too, bro.
Galletitas
con leche, bro. Cinnamon rolls. I'll be baking them. I'm like, I'm gonna put them in the oven. Yeah.
That and ice cream.
Ice cream. I'm not a big ice cream guy. I don't know why. I'd rather the cookie, like dip it in the milk, let it soak in there, and then eat it, bro.
Oh,
I don't
man,
know.
yeah. No, I think if I had
Ben
to
and
pick one, I
Jerry's
would
or-
say Ben and Jerry's.
Well, the ice cream, he just likes
Yeah.
ice. He'll just look. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, he'll grab a bunch of different ones, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. But but then he'll
Mix
come
and
home and he'll
match.
like
Vanilla.
have like warm. He'll warm me like warm apple pie with the
Oh,
side
okay.
of like
Yeah,
vanilla
yeah.
ice cream, and
A
I'm
scoop
like,
of
that's
ice cream,
so
in it.
good.
Yeah, like a dessert. So that's probably like the worst. But I do like to eat like she cooks healthy too. So I like your salmon bowls are pretty good.
Yeah, so see, I'm in charge of like the healthy stuff.
Yeah.
He's like se me antojó esto.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
or
yeah.
I
The
saw
celebratory
that-
meals.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
But
yeah.
that's about the only thing I do now. I mean, I don't do drugs or I don't do none of that. All of that was in my past, you know.
Sure.
But I did go through it, and now I think about like, man, I can't believe I was putting all that shit in my body, man.
Sure,
Like,
bro.
it's crazy, you know what I mean? Like we're literally poisoning ourselves. It's bad enough all the stuff we eat, you know what I mean, and on top of that, like drugs is crazy.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, like I said, I grew up in a skate park and I saw so much shit around me, and I always saw what I saw what led people down like a very risky path in life, I'd like to say. And I was always like, man, you know what? Let me stay away from that. These guys are doing it. I'll just learn through them. You know, I'll see what they're doing. But for you, how did you get out of that? Like, what was that decision that was like, nah, man, I'm gonna change up my life here?
I would say probably after my brother and my dad passed away.
How old were you there?
I was 18 when my brother passed away, and he, you know, it was a tragic sudden death, car accident.
Sorry,
and then my dad, you know, basically fell into depression, and he had a drinking. That was his outlet, you know, for depression, and he would drink a lot. So after his son passed away, you know, he started drinking again, and he ended up, you know, passing away as well. And I feel like, and then a month later, my firstborn was born. So I think that shortly after that, it's when I started, like, I looked at myself in the mirror one day and I'm just like, what the hell am I doing? You know, like I need to quit the drugs, you know what I'm saying? And that's probably, and I did use other drugs to kind of like have me lay off the hardcore drugs. If it makes any sense.
Sure.
But you know, thank God I was never in the streets or like you know, homeless or nothing like that. Like I always worked, and I was just doing drugs with my coworkers and everybody pulling double shifts in restaurants and things like that. So that's really where it was. But the way that I also, what helped me to get away from that, it was once I made my mind that I didn't want to do that, or I didn't want that for me, it was just kind of cutting off all those friendships that I had with people that were doing. I stopped hanging out with people that did drugs.
You changed your environment.
And I changed my environment, yeah.
That's what they say. They say that a lot of times when somebody is battling addictions and all of that stuff, the first thing you should do is change your environment, change the people around you, change where you're going to, change all of that shit, man. Because essentially, dude, we're creatures of habit, man. Like what we surround ourselves with, who we hear 24/7, like those are the thoughts we're going to be that are ingrained in our minds 24/7, bro. So for you, obviously you're a big inspiration for so many people around the world, but who do you look up to?
Oh man, that's a good question.
Like who's inspired you to be the man you are, and the artist, you know, that stuff too, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, I have a lot of friends that are successful that you could say inspire me. Initially, my dad was the person that, you know, inspired me because he was a hard worker. He's a good husband. He was a good dad. You know, everything that for him was just family and working hard and providing for us, you know? So that's really initially what that was my inspiration. But I want to say now I surround myself with a lot of people that are entrepreneurs and are doing great, you know what I mean? And that inspires me. But also, I do see that a lot of them are very busy to where it's hard for them to even give, you know, time to their family and stuff like that. And also that, so it's like almost like a balance, you know, that we have to find. Like, and my wife also, you know, she works with me, but she also does remind me a lot, like, hey, man, like, you know, you haven't given your daughter any time, or you haven't, you know, like sit down and give her some time, which is true. It's almost like getting me back on track and like, hey, man, like, yeah, I'm going hard with the hustle and like with work, but don't forget you have a child over here you haven't spent time with, you know what I mean? So it's a balance.
What I love though is that when I bring it up, he's like immediately like, yes, you know, like it's not like he's like, oh well,
pushes
but
it to the side.
yeah,
no,
no,
like,
to him it is really important
for reminding me. Let me take care of that. Sometimes, dude, I feel myself getting very I don't want to say lost, because I don't, it's not that I feel lost, but I feel very sometimes like you, so invested in the grind, so invested in the work, and I forget that the reason I'd like to say we work so hard is to provide for our families so we can spend those high moments with our families. But something that I've learned lately is you have to make the effort to provide yourself that time. So in other words, like, fucking plan out that vacation, schedule all the activities and all that stuff, because having fun and enjoying good moments in life takes effort. It doesn't just happen naturally. Right. People are like, oh yeah, I wish like this. It's like, well, anybody on this planet right now can spend a day with someone they love, whether it's going out for ice cream, getting some, getting a massage. I don't know, going to watch a movie, anything, walking in the park. It's free. You can do that. And I like to tell everybody, it's like, stop waiting for everything, for the stars to be aligned to finally start enjoying your life. Because before you know it, you're gonna wake up one day and the people you love, God forbid, they might be gone. And
your kids are grown. If you once you have kids,
that part,
so like, to me, it's so important that I'm a stay-at-home mom. Obviously, like, I work with him. I'm his manager, and I can do everything, but from my phone.
Of course, yeah.
But like, it's so important. And I tell him, I almost feel bad for the men that are the providers, because I'm like, all of a sudden you're gonna see your child and he grew up. Or she grew up, and that's really sad to me. And I have 2 kids, and my son's 16, and our daughter she's 3.
Okay.
And I'm like, they grow so fast that one day they don't want to be in bed with you. Yeah. They don't want to hang out with you anymore.
Teenage phase and all that stuff. Yes. They're only a child once. They're only going through that once.
Yes, and you're really going to be sad when that happens. If you were so busy, like you're providing, that you forgot to make the time.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. I obviously I don't have kids yet. I got nieces, but I want kids. But something that's a must before that is certain systems in my life have to be in place so that I am able to take a step back from something that's like rolling and be with my family. Because right now I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, there's certain things I can't step away from. I physically, mentally, financially cannot step away from. And if I do, it comes crumbling down. And so that's like my priority right now, getting those systems. And then, I have some kids, and I'll bring them over to your guys' house.
Awesome.
You give me some pointers on how to raise them. Are we still doing the chancla? No chancla? What are we doing?
We don't do the chancla. I don't think so. You might, but I don't. I'm the soft one.
I feel like I'd be like you, bro. Yeah.
He will give her daughter ice cream for breakfast. If he's like, but she wanted it. I'm like, I know. It's also like
she's
morning.
My princess.
For sure, bro. Yeah,
she's gonna grow up soon, and I mean, I know. I saw it with I have a 19-year-old, so I know, they grow up super fast. And,
I did want to ask, so how do you manage the work-life balance, right? Like, do you guys do planned out activities, vacation? Like, how does that? And I'm asking for me too, because I'm like taking notes here.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like for the most part, we're always, spending time with each other. Like, we work. I thank God with what I do for a living. I could bring my wife along. She's my manager. I made her. I hired her as my manager.
Of course,
bro, I don't want to say hired, but
hired because I haven't seen a check. But
she takes 100%.
Hazy with love, Con amor.
She says that. What did you say, man?
That his last manager used to take 10%. I take 100.
Let's go.
It works out. Yeah. Actually, lo mantengo yo a él.
Yeah, so I actually work for her.
There's a saying, they're like, behind every It was
every successful man. Right?
Yeah, behind every great man, there's a better woman.
That's right.
It was from the show, actually. One of my writers wrote that. But
true,
he always calls me his better half. He'll introduce me to something. This is my better half. Even it's so cute. Sometimes really people like message him for like work, and he'll make a thread and be like, "This is Sylvia, my better half. You can deal with her." And I'm like, "Oh, he's a wonderful husband. Just how he treats me, like behind doors, he does it in front of people. Like he's really good."
Yeah, well, she really is. She really is my better half. And like I said, we're always together. We try to be together. So we just came back from a trip from Canada. I brought her with me. She was like, "No, I think I'm going to stay." And I'm like, "No, like, I don't want you to miss out on what I'm doing. I want you to be a part of it." Somebody got to tell our grandkids the stories.
Oh, yeah. Of course,
so,
man.
We have traveled, she's gone with me for work to Italy, Brazil.
Oh, wow.
Mexico, Spain.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah,
incredible.
as much as I can, I try to include her.
Awesome,
Also to my daughter, we try to bring my daughter with us, and my niece, she's our sitter.
Nice.
With Selena. So
incredible.
Selena's my daughter, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, inspired
Not
by
this Selena, but it's better.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hold on,
Yeah.
Selena. Nice. Okay. Did you name her after Selena?
Yeah, we
incredible,
did.
Man.
We did.
Incredible.
Name her after when I met my wife, and we would conversate a lot over the phone. Obviously for months before we started like dating and stuff. So I think that one of the things that came up was that when she was little, she loved Selena, and I think because I was living in Texas at the time. And I might have said, "Oh yeah, we're nearby Corpus, and Selena was from Corpus, and I think that that's where the conversation came about. And I don't remember exactly how it came about, but we
said if we ever have a daughter, we would name her Selena. Yeah.
Oh,
so then
man.
4 years later, when I got pregnant, and then they told us it was going to be a girl, I even asked, so like, are you sure? Do you want to think of any other names or anything? And, because it was just something like we said at the time. And he was like, no, she's been Selena since before she was conceived or thought of, like that.
Wow.
So now we have our Selena.
That's so incredible. That's so sweet. I feel like every couple does that, right? Because me and my girl, I'm like, all right, if we have both, because my goal is like, I want 3 boys and 1 little girl, just so the boys could always protect the little girl, But, maybe I should even say this on camera, but if you guys take my names for my boys, I'm blocking you. But I want to name my boys. The first one I name Alexander, the middle one Tiago, and then the baby Junior, and then the little girl I want to name Winter. So I got it all planned out. I got obviously you can't plan out, a child. I mean, actually you can now with the technology. Hey everyone, welcome back to today's episode of On My Pod. Today, I want to share something special about a company that I've been personally working with for the last 1.5 years. Chic Shoes. Chic Shoes has given me the amazing opportunity to do meet and greets at their stores across the US, allowing me to connect with the most incredible people, my fans. Or, as I love to say, mi familia. Your support and love every time I visit a new state or city with Chic is overwhelming. And I just want to say thank you. Chic Shoes isn't just about selling shoes. They're about making a real impact. They hire Latinos and African Americans, offering jobs both in their retail stores and at their corporate headquarters. They also give back to feeding families on Thanksgiving, bringing communities together, and providing resources to those in need. Chic is an awesome store that offers both online shopping and same-day pickup at their physical locations. If you're looking for some cool clothes and shoes, check them out at chic.com. Shop with purpose, knowing that you're supporting a brand that truly cares about its people and community. All right, let's get back to the episode. Speaking of Guinness World Records, you have a Guinness World Record, correct?
I don't, but I do. I am in the Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Oh, okay. Was it that? Okay.
That's the day I found out that I was a weirdo.
What were you on there for?
For the hair art on humans, not on the horses.
Right,
that's
right.
They need to bring me on for the horses.
I need to reach out.
Yeah, you need to reach out. Yeah, they reached out to me, and they had me on the 2014 book, which is the Eye Popping Out book.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. So I was like, man, I was going through the book. I'm like, dude, this is.
Bunch of weirdos on here.
What's the strangest request that you've gotten from somebody for your art? Like somebody where they hit you up and they're like, hey, I need XYZ, or can you do this, XYZ? What do you think?
Can you help me out with that?
Okay, so I think something that you never documented, you said you were somewhere and they had a bunch of like white powder
cocaine.
And they had you do like something with that, but there was no pictures, there was no evidence of that ever happening because obviously
I did at a party once. I did because they knew that I was
not there.
I was doing the saw art at the time, and it was really popular, and I got
Tenían la coca?
Tenían la coca.
No, bro.
Well, they busted out. I was like, whoa, what's up with this? By then I was already clean. I wasn't doing drugs.
Oh, dude, one sneeze away and everybody, that would have been a different party, bro. Oh, man.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I think at the time, I don't know why I think I might have been on probation for something.
You had to wear gloves, no? You said.
So I didn't want to test positive for it, so I wore gloves.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that never was documented. Actually, matter of fact, I think there might be a picture out there, but I told the dude, I was like, no pictures, no
don't
phones,
put me in
nothing.
there, bro. Yeah. Hey, you're like, matter of fact, cut this bit out of the podcast.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny? They actually, what was it, like a few, maybe like months ago or a year max, they had what is that movie? The bear movie? The
Cocaine Bear. Did you guys watch that film?
So they hired him to promote it, and they asked for white flour to make it look like cocaine, so it's like the bear.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I did the cover, right?
Yeah. So I was like, he's actually done something like this before, but
I did it with flour. It was flour. It was not cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we'll say that for the camera. We'll say that. Man. Dude.
Yeah, but it was a fun one. I mean, I work a lot like that with campaigns and stuff where they're promoting movies or other products, you know.
I saw you at the Blue Beetle premiere on your Instagram, and you gave Angel Soto a gift. What was the gift?
I drew on tortillas.
Oh,
yeah, and I drew the logo, and I think
of Blue Beetle.
The Beetle, yeah.
Oh,
the
nice. That was a badass film.
You were there? Yeah, I saw it.
No, I didn't go to the premiere. I saw it on your Instagram, but my buddy Brian Ortega, Warner, like rented out a theater for them, and he held the screening there, and we all went. Dude. We called up all the homies. We went. It's such a. You don't see too many of those types of films. I guess in Hollywood, bro. When it's Latino led, it's about family. It feels authentic, right? It's not like forced, and it doesn't feel like cringe and like they're pushing. That was one of my favorite DC movies ever, next to the Christian Bale Batmans.
No, definitely.
Oh, yes.
I loved it too, man. It was a great movie. I think I might have watched it a couple of times.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
For sure.
Yeah. I went with my son, my 16-year-old. I went to all of the superhero movies. That was our thing. We need to watch all of the Batman movies,
yeah, of course.
Thing. So yeah, it was pretty cool to go to that, and then now how it was represented.
Are you guys team Marvel or DC? I have to ask. I love DC, but Marvel will always, take my.
I feel like Marvel.
Yeah,
Marvel, yeah.
Marvel. But the Batman's
DC, but which Batman?
That's exempt.
Yeah, because there's Christian Bale's Batman, Ben Affleck's Batman. Who's the new Batman? Robert Pattinson's Batman. So many.
Probably like the first one was the Batman Begins, like the
Batman Begins, Dark Knight.
We actually, those are so good.
With the Joker, with the Penguin and stuff.
Those ones were like,
those
were funky.
Hey, those are the old school. Those are the old school.
I bought my son like the whole thing. Yeah, they're like dressed. They have poison ivy.
Yeah, man.
That's when the idea started, right?
We actually recently took my son. They had was it downtown like Hollywood?
It was over here in Hollywood. They had with the orchestra, and
so you watch the movie live, and then the intense moments, it's played by orchestra.
It was
really cool.
Where'd you guys see that?
It was like a few months ago. I took my son
downtown LA.
Yeah, they had it. Was like a thing. It was really cool.
They actually show a lot of movies and stuff like that.
And it was like the old Batman with I think it was, what was the actor? The first one?
George Clooney, Michael Keaton.
I think it was Michael Keaton.
No, as Nicholas.
He was the Joker.
He was the Joker.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that one. It was that one.
Man.
It was really cool.
Really quick, I have a question for you guys. Have you ever dreamed about starting an acting career? If so, well, what's stopping you? Did you know that nearly all major casting calls and auditions for huge Hollywood productions are now done online via Zoom from a laptop? That means that anyone from anywhere has a fair shot at starring in their favorite TV shows and movies, but only with the right resources. My best tip, join my online acting studio, The Actors Campus. At The Actors Campus, I've created a comprehensive blueprint with over 50 hours of video lessons where you can learn absolutely everything from the craft side of acting to the business and networking side of Hollywood. Here, you'll have access to one of the best talent showcases, giving you the chance to participate and potentially get signed by some of the best talent agents and managers in this industry. I'm pretty sure I've even seen my own agent attend the showcase. Plus, you'll also be a part of a vibrant community center where you can attend your weekly live classes with myself teaching you every single week. And I'll also be bringing in industry guests who provide you insights into how show business actually works. You'll also receive exclusive invitations to movie screenings and Q&A panels hosted by yours truly, where you can connect with other community members and learn from industry professionals who you admire, or at least semi-look up to. So, if acting is something you're genuinely interested in, visit thediegotinoco.com and join our community that I'm proud to call the Actors Campus. Movies have evolved so much over time. How would you say that art is evolving, or at least has evolved in your medium?
I feel like painting is obviously the most ancient, right? Or I don't know if maybe the chipping on the stones.
Sculpture,
on a rock.
Sculpting, But I think like social media now, like you can see all types and forms of art. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Like the amount of art that's out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even like, you know, from making cakes to, you know, painting vehicles to, you know, obviously we have the art on the lowriders that was really popular back in the day. But I mean, you do art on everything. I mean, I'm doing art on clothing. I mean, it's crazy, dude.
Tattoos
like the amount,
as well. I mean, like that's an entire art form, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely, man. Like now that, you know, with the ideas, I'm always searching for new art mediums to do. And a lot of the art mediums that I've done are original, but some of them, you know, I've gotten inspired by other artists. And yeah, man, it's pretty cool, like to see the talent out there. Like it's some art that I just can't do, like even if I wanted to, because it's so like difficult. Like I've seen the art with the dice, you know, like the rolling dice. They do that I've seen murals like almost like portraits, huge portraits, and it's just made with like thousands of those little dice, bro. Like, and you know, you turn it around to one side and it'll have the 6 dots.
I think you would just need a lot of patience, and he has a lot of patience for what he does, but he likes art that he can do like today.
Yeah.
Not that's like gonna take me months.
Yeah,
to do.
You're like me, bro.
Oh, then when you said something about like wanting things today.
Yeah, man. I feel, I said that about, you know, I feel like, and I've always said this on all the pods, I'm like, I feel like the young gen, but the thing with them is they want to be rewarded instantly for not all of them, because some of them are very, very hardworking in their discipline, but a lot of them want to be rewarded today for just about, you know, just to be rewarded with not having ever gone through it. Whereas I see someone like you who went through it, bro, who worked their way up. I saw the other day you were chatting with, I believe, was it a high school or elementary school with students?
I did elementary, and then middle school and high school.
He went to his old high school in San Diego.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, which was super neat to see.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, that was really cool. My art teacher was actually, he's still there, Mr. Merrill. Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Merrill. He was one of those few teachers that actually believed in what I was doing. Like he was like, man, he gave me an A+, and I was like, why you gave me an A+? Like I have, you know, straight F's, you know, and maybe a D there or whatever, a C. He gave me A+, and he told me, he's like, I can't teach you how to draw. Like you're an artist, so here's your A+.
Isn't that incredible how somebody can have such an impactful moment in your life? Like they give you that reassurance. It's almost like they plant the seed in your brain, where it's like, oh shit, maybe I can make something out of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, he made me believe that. Like, hey man, and he even gave me he was gonna give me a scholarship, and that's when my parents moved to Texas when I was a senior in high school. Yeah, so I moved away up north.
What part of Texas was it?
San Antonio.
San Antonio. That's right.
Yeah, they moved, and I was like, man, I don't want to move out of California. I moved around a lot growing up, but I never moved out of California.
Was that scary for you?
Besides TJ. TJ was.
Hold on. You went to TJ. Go.
Baja California.
Yeah, that's like an extension of Cali.
We would still cross on the weekends to San Diego, you know. But yeah, man, it was pretty cool, you know, to go back and see the classroom that I was in, and you know, we walked around. He showed me the new upgrades in the school. They, you know, obviously the school doesn't look exactly the same, but it's a super old school. You know what I mean? Like I think it's over 100 years.
Oh
old.
Yeah, it was like,
super old school.
Me asking, so why were people in school 100 years ago?
So what advice or inspiration did you share with them that maybe you could share with some of our audience here watching? Maybe it's somebody going through a hard time, somebody who's, you know, they lack belief in themselves, or you know, even somebody who's barely attaining success, and now they're like, shit, I don't know how to manage this. Like, what advice would you give them?
I feel like, you know, success, it's like a double-sided sword, you know what I mean? Like it could hurt you, or it could, you know, you can use it as a tool, you could use it as a job, you know what I mean? Like a lot of times people they tend to, you know, almost like forget about people that were there for you when you didn't, you know, have the success. And quick success could be bad. My success has been, you know, slow, little by little, and a lot of me creating. But I have noticed, you know, with a lot of people that have success right away, they stop talking to everybody. You reach out to people.
Switch up.
Yeah, they switch up. Yeah. And I can understand, like, you know, it's fame. If you feel like everybody loves you,
Feel
you feel like, invincible. Like you feel like everybody loves me on the shit. You know what I mean? And maybe it's the people around them hyping them up that much. You know what I'm saying? And but then, you know, that also goes away, and then what happens to that person? You know what I'm saying? Like that could be that. It's crazy like that. But I feel like you know, the advice that I give the kids. Or what I'm not really, I don't know if I'm giving them advice. I'm just telling them my story, like with the, you know, the neighborhoods that I came from. You know, not to be ashamed of your hardworking parents. You know what I mean? If they don't have a lot, like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean that you have to be ashamed of that. Like, you can be happy and not have a lot. You know what I'm saying? At mental health, you know what I mean? Also, you know, trying to hopefully get them to not, you know, fall into drugs or gangs or things like that, because, you know, sometimes we think that our world is just our neighborhood, but the world is so much bigger than that.
Big, bro.
And there's so much that you can accomplish, and there's so much talent in the neighborhoods, you know what I mean? And we just need to educate our kids a little bit better, you know? We don't know what they're going through. We don't know, you know, what it is that they're going through at home, that maybe that's the reason why they're acting the way they are. Or
no, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that's a lot of depression too. Like, how do you handle that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, dude, you're
it's
right.
A lot of kids are depressed, so the first thing they do is, you know, start hanging out with people that are doing drugs, and then next, you know, I mean, look around LA and in a lot of big cities, like all you see is all these young people as homeless. You know what I'm saying? Like when I look at homeless, like it breaks my heart. You know what I'm saying? That was somebody's child.
Yeah.
And they're lost in the world.
No, absolutely, man. I was just having this conversation with a friend. It was like, you know, when you're in your 30s, 40s, when you're fully grown, your 20s, and you're going through a hard time, or you choose to jump into negative, you know, patterns in life. It's not that I don't feel sorry for them. I do. I absolutely do. But when it's a child and they don't have a choice, and their house, they come from abusive parents, a dad who beats the shit out of them every night, a mom who slams them and tells them insulting things, or harms them, or maybe their parents are harming themselves, and that's 24/7 in their mind. Dude, that's wrong, and that hurts me, bro. And that's sort of why I started this pod, bro. Because I was like, maybe we can't reach them directly, individually, one by one, you know, go to their houses. But I feel like in today's day and age, the internet's everything nowadays, right? We can speak to so many people with such a massive audience and all of that stuff. But, you know, if there was one critical moment in your life that really showed you, I guess, who you wanted to be, like the fire of who you want to be as an artist, as a human, like what would you say that was? Like, maybe it's a quote, maybe it's a story, a specific moment you shared about your father and your brother and your child, but is there just something that like gets you up out of bed and you're like, nah, man, like this is my fire? Like for me, it's creating legacy. I'm like, I want to leave. Yeah. I fear death. I do.
Yeah.
I fear death, but I feel like if you do enough and you create enough on earth and have kids, of course, that eases my mind of like going into the afterlife and doing all that. And it sounds weird, but I just had a friend pass, so all this stuff's been on my mind lately. Right. So I'm kind of curious, like, you know, what's that is for you.
Yeah. Well, you know, growing up in City Heights, San Diego, which is, you know, it was kind of a rough neighborhood. And then all the stuff that we had gone through, you know, living in Tijuana and LA, and even San Jose. It was like we're going through so much, you know what I mean? And like depression, addiction. My dad was an alcoholic. He was a good dad, but you know, he was an alcoholic. And a lot of neglect I will feel too, like, you know, not intentionally probably from our parents because they were going through a lot, but we didn't get, like, you know, my parents never really, you know, went to a soccer game or a practice or nothing like that. It was more like we were just, I signed myself up to sports.
Oh, yeah?
Because I wanted to be in it. You know, I had to do it in outside programs like YMCA because I didn't have the grades to do it in school, you know what I mean, and be a part of but I liked sports growing up, you know what I mean? And things like that. Drawing, I did get attention from them from that I feel like that is one thing that it did help for me to push me to, you know, almost to like I wanted that more, you know what I mean? So even when I left, you know, when I got out of high school and then I moved to Texas, I started working in jobs and had nothing to do with art, but I stumbled upon a job of cutting hair, and that right there brought me into art. And that's when I started doing art on haircuts, and it started with little line designs on the hair, and then from there it just got more intricate and like bringing in more ideas. Like, hey, try doing a logo on my haircut. You know what I mean? And from there, and then became portraits, and then I started getting a lot of attention from the neighborhood. Like, I became that barber in the neighborhood that everybody wanted to go to, and that made me feel good. You know, it brought me a good feeling, and me always seeing people that I knew that were dying and whether if it was drive-bys or addiction or going to prison, it was almost like, man, I don't want to be that guy. Like, people forget about you. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't leave a legacy behind, people will forget about you. And what happens, that people eventually are going to not know that you existed in this planet, you know? Oh, for sure, so that's almost how it started. Like, when I started getting recognition and TV stations started coming to the barbershop to do stories on me, and I started coming out on articles and stuff like that. That's when I found a purpose. I was almost like, hey, like, I want to be remembered. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm going to work as hard as I can to make sure that I can do that. And that's when I just started creating nonstop. And still to this day, I don't stop creating, man. You know? Yeah. So I relate with you on that.
It's like we're addicted to the creation. Yeah. I always say, I'm like, dude, when I have a full day of creating, even shooting these podcasts, you know, because I shoot in bulk. I shoot the last week of every month, and we get like 5-6 guests in a day. But at the end of that, I go home, I sleep, and I'm like, I created something. We created something today. And, whether it does change lives or not, I feel like, having these conversations, we're able to see life through so many different lenses. And if I'm able to help one person out there, bro, that's why we create, right? But speaking of creating, I saw you created something with, I think it was with or for Canelo. So what was that? What happened there? I love Canelo, bro. I've never met him. I've never been to one of his fights. So I'm dying to attend one of his fights, bro. How was it?
Man, we're gonna have to invite you. I know a friend that is almost like a cousin to Canelo. Okay. Neto. Yeah. And I met him through my compadre, Misael. Neto's, super cool. And he one day told me, he's like, hey man, like, I want to give art piece to Canelo. Oh, and I want to do like a mural, So he took me to go meet Canelo first. Oh, wow. We went to go see him, train. He was training for a fight. Wow. And from there, he made the introduction. And then Canelo, obviously saw my work. He really liked it. So Neto ended up, hiring me to do that mural for him. And forever, I'm grateful with Neto for that. Yeah, of course. You know what I mean? And,
were you nervous making that? I feel like, bro, I'd be like, shaking my hand, bro. I'd be like, he's one of my idols, bro. I mean, I grew up watching him, so. Yeah.
Nah, I wasn't nervous. I was more like excited about it. Okay. When I did the artwork, I was in the gym by myself. I did it in the evening. I wasn't living in California at the time. So I flew in from Arizona, and I basically knocked it out in like 6 hours or something like that. And I chiseled the art on the wall. Yeah. I basically had them prep the wall before, they put brick on the wall just so that way I could chisel the concrete over the brick. And it was a pretty cool piece. Badass. And the next morning I came in to like throw like a clear over it, and Canelo walked in and he saw it. And yeah, he loved it, man.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And after that, he's been telling me, like, he saw me at a couple other events, and he came up to me and obviously, gave me a hug and told me, hey man, I want you to do some more artwork for my rancho in Mexico. So
incredible,
we haven't made it happen yet.
Yeah.
He's a busy guy.
Didn't
of course.
He also had an interview, and then he brought you up your art.
Oh yeah, he did.
He did
when he was showing his house, right? I think
it was like
10 things he can't live without.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, and yours was one of them?
Well, he mentions art, and then he mentions my art. Yeah,
incredible, dude. Damn, bro, that's cool, man. That
was pretty cool, yeah.
That's very cool, bro. So you're obviously really busy. You're doing so much traveling, creating your businesses. I don't like to ask what's next, because if you ask that question enough times before you know it, pues vamos a estar durmiendo para la vida. You know what I mean? Like that's what's next, right?
Yeah.
But I like to ask, where is your attention currently on? Yeah. And this, you know what I'm saying? Like, where's your focus currently on right now?
Right. I'm opening up a a food truck business in Anaheim. I always, you know, I do love cooking.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to open either a restaurant or something. Wow. But I'm starting off with a food truck.
Yeah.
It's mobile, just to fill it out, you know.
For sure.
I bought into a franchise. I'm a big fan of Isibachi. It's Japanese.
I was gonna say, is that Japanese?
Oh, okay. Japanese hibachi food. We would eat it all the time in Arizona. And when my buddy, you know, Gerardo decided to open it a franchise, I was like, I'm buying it.
Oh yeah.
So you know, she always says
dope,
I like hibachi, the Isibachi so much he bought me a truck.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's dope.
Yeah, man. But yeah, we're gonna open it up hopefully like in a month. I would say I'm gonna invite you to the grand opening.
Love to be there.
It's gonna be in Anaheim.
Anaheim. That's where I was born.
Oh really?
That's where I was born. I was born in Anaheim. I grew up in Corona, but I was born in Anaheim. Yeah. I would love to be there, bro.
Yeah, man, definitely. I would say it's really delicious. Like I've had a lot of hibachi food, and I'm not saying that other hibachi food is not good. But I like this one for some reason. It's just really.
Yeah, we've tried a bunch of different ones. We've been at festivals and stuff, you know. And we just like. Yeah, nothing's. And that was before we even bought into it. You know, we were like, nope, this one. And like the stuff that you actually like crave, you know, stuff that's like memorable. Like, you're like, I crave this. That would be one of those things for us.
Well, dude, that's good to know, because if you love the food, like again, never do something that you don't love to do.
Right.
And if you do, pues con cuidado, because you know eventually that fire is just gonna go out. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, man. Hey, man. But earlier, like we were talking about Caballeros del Zodiaco, bro.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's so awesome, bro. I was so stoked when I saw that you were doing the movie.
Thank you, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And the Knights of the Zodiac, no?
Knights of the Zodiac, Los Caballeros del Zodiaco.
Yeah, I put one and two together because I had never heard it in English.
Oh, that's right.
The Knights of the Zodiac. So when I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, is this Caballeros del Zodiaco?
It was huge in Mexico. I had no idea. I had zero idea that it was such a big IP down there in Mexico, because up here, you know, clearly I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z. You know, Goku was my idol. You know, when in doubt, I'm like, what would Goku do? But yeah, I guess, you know, in Mexico it was huge. I didn't know it was that big.
Yeah,
so you grew up on that,
bro. Yeah. So when I first moved to Tijuana, it was like in 91.
Okay.
And yeah, it was huge. I had never heard of it until I moved there. And every kid there, like they had either shirts, backpacks, or you know, or even like, you know, school supplies. With the pictures of
like the notebooks, and the cover would be them. Whoa,
Caballeros del Zodiaco, and it was really, really popular. Anybody who grew up and around that time, you know, when I was like around my age, they know Caballeros del Zodiaco. It's either Caballeros del Zodiaco or Super Campeones.
Oh yeah, Super Campeones. I heard about them.
It was like it was a soccer Japanese movie, and we would watch that and go outside and play soccer, you know, start running and
hyped after you watched it.
All hyped and stuff. So yeah, man, the Caballeros del Zodiaco, big part of my childhood, man.
Oh, for sure, man.
Part of my childhood. So when I saw that you were doing that, I was like, that's so cool, man. I can't believe I know you. You know?
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Yeah, it's funny, man. Like I'll get people coming up to me, and it's either like the younger gen, obviously from the show OMB, and they'll be like, oh, can I get a photo? And then I'll get like an older cat, you know, 30s or 40s, and they're like, oh, bro, can I get a photo? And I'm like, oh, you watched on my blog too? And they're like, what's that? I'm like, what do you mean, what's that? I'm like, oh shit, where do you know me from? And they're like, Los Caballeros del Zodiaco. I'm like, oh shit, let's go, bro. I'm like, all right, cool. But yeah, bro.
So you definitely broadened your audience.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. But you know, it's
cool.
It's cool to see another Latino doing it big, bro, having success, getting to chat about, you know, the highs, the lows, and hopefully, you know, educate somebody or inspire them, motivate them, or at the very least, just entertain them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Is there any piece of advice that you would give the up and coming artist trying to come up in today's day and age?
The advice that I would give them is basically, you know, don't get impatient. You know what I mean? If you work hard and you're consistent, good things will come. You know what I mean? And results come from, like you said, not from putting in the work. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
just trust the process.
For sure.
Trust the process. You know what I mean? And that's, I'm telling you from my own experience, you know, little by little, and it's a learning. Some people get there faster. Some people get there slower. Yeah. But, you know, we're on God's time, you know, not everybody is meant to overnight success. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, bro. That's beautiful, brother. Well, I know you guys are busy, so I want to respect you guys' time. And that was a great episode, bro. That's a beautiful episode, my brother.
Thank you for having us, man.
Thank you for having us.
Super happy to be here, bro. And anytime you want to do anything, remember we talked a little bit about going to a school, maybe.
Oh, let's do it. I just went to school the other day. I dropped off T-shirts, and I would love that.
Yeah,
that'd be very cool. And oye, somos vecinos, bro.
Que nos comenten aquí qué escuela vamos a visitar.
Yeah, you guys comment in the comments what school in SoCal, in Southern California, should we go visit? High school, elementary school, or middle school? We will see you guys there. Adios. We love you guys. Bye, guys.